Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. The former Serb paramilitary commander known as Captain Dragan has been sentenced by the Split County Court to 15 years in prison for war crimes. Dragan Vasiljković was convicted of crimes against POWs and civilians committed during Croatia's homeland war. Vasiljković, an Australian citizen, fought a 10-year battle to avoid extradition from Australia. Because he has already spent 11 years behind bars, he will serve only 4 more. His lawyer says Vasiljković will appeal and request conditional release.
The defendant, Dragan Vasiljković, is sentenced to 15 years in prison. Under the Criminal Code of the Republic of Croatia, the defendant's time spent in detention while awaiting extradition and the time spent in investigative custody shall be commuted to time served. Knowing all the crimes he is responsible for, I cannot accept the punishment as appropriate. Unfortunately, I was expecting a sentence that fit the crime. This is a scandalous sentence, and it does not do justice for the victims of his crimes. The whole case is scandalous, and here is why. First, he was discovered by Australian media. Then this criminal sued an Australian media outlet over this. Only after the story was all over the media did Croatia take action and demand his extradition.
The state attorney's office has received an anonymous complaint against several people involved in the transfer of Agrokor into the hands of a government-appointed crisis manager and the investment fund behind the latest injection of cash into the heavily indebted food and retail group. The complaint names Economy Minister Martina Dalić, crisis manager Ante Ramljak, several members of his team, and Knighthead Capital. It charges that they conspired to take over the Agrokor group with a view to selling off its units for profit. Agrokor's government-appointed crisis management team has rejected the allegations. In a statement, management said that if the charges had any merit, the criminal complaint would not have been anonymous. This latest development comes amid a barrage of blog posts by Ivica Todorić. The Agrokor owner is airing his grievances against the government and the crisis manager appointed to take control of his business empire. In the latest blog entry published earlier today, Todorić warns that the financial reports Agrokor is about to release for 2016 are being drafted by the current managers and not an auditing firm, which will only publish an opinion on the documents. Todorić claims the audit report is being written by a former colleague of crisis manager Ante Ramljak. The government is rejecting the allegations and says Ivica Todorić's blitz of accusations and this complaint are all linked to the audit report due Friday.
The public is expecting Agrokor's financial reports, and some media are already describing them as the product of illegal activities. Due to all of this maneuvering, I would like to state clearly that such an enormous loss expressed in financial documents can only be the result of accounting techniques applied by the current management and auditors to reduce the value of Agrokor's assets and not any kind of manipulation by former management. The Agrokor Group probably owes more than 40 billion kuna, perhaps more than 50 billion. This debt has jeopardized all of Agrokor's creditors, distributors, and employees, and Croatia itself. It was clear that they were headed for bankruptcy, and in bankruptcy, everyone would lose. We couldn't let that happen. Special legislation, Lex Agrokor, was adopted, and it saved jobs and saved a company that was on the brink of failure at the worst possible time, ahead of and during the tourism season. Keeping that in mind, I think the government did the right thing.
Producers and distributors who are owed money by Agrokor say owner Ivica Todorić is responsible for the enormous debts the group accumulated. The creditors group said it supported the crisis management team and that Agrokor was in crisis long before the emergency management team took over. SDP leader Davor Bernardić received backing this evening from the leadership of his party amid internal dissent from some high-profile Social Democrats. 16 out of 18 members of the presidency voted to support Bernardić. As the call to bidders for contracts to supply fighter jets to modernize Croatia's military draws to a close, Israel's defense minister is in Croatia. Avigdor Lieberman met with Defense Minister Damir Krstičević, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, and President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović. 5 countries were invited to submit bids: the U.S., Israel, South Korea, Sweden, and Greece. A decision is expected by the end of the year.
And we appreciate the readiness of your country to fight terror. Your soldiers deployed in Afghanistan, in Kuwait, and you part of the coalition against ISIS, and I think it's another maybe direction for our cooperation.
We have an opportunity to work with the best, and Israel is the best when it comes to defense and security. On the other hand, we also have experience from the homeland war. We have knowledge and capabilities.
Central Bank Governor Boris Vujčić says the HNB is trying to reduce the exposure of consumers with existing variable interest rate loans to rises in interest rates. The HNB has drafted a set of recommendations for lending institutions that offer loans to consumers. Vujčić has called on banks to offer clients the option of switching to fixed rates on loans such as mortgages, which are most exposed to interest rate hikes. He also presented the HNB's so-called lending information list, which is supposed to help potential borrowers become better informed about the types of loans being offered.
The information list is in kuna, with a foreign currency clause in euros based on information the central bank has received from leading institutions. It also offers basic information, but not everything, about a select group of loans consumers most often use.
In sports, Croatia's women were unable to advance to the quarterfinals of the European Volleyball Championships. Croatia was eliminated in their first game of the knockout phase of the tournament tonight by favorites, the Netherlands, in straight sets. Croatia came out of the group phase with 1 victory against Georgia and 2 losses against Belarus and Italy. Tomorrow's forecast calls for variable clouds with some sunny spells in the interior. The east and north can expect more frequent sunshine. There is a chance of scattered light rain, especially in the mountains. The coast will stay mostly to partly sunny, but Dalmatia may get a drop of rain or 2. There will be light to moderate northeasterly and northwesterly winds on the coast. High winds are expected in the Velebit area. Morning lows will be between 7 and 13 in continental Croatia and between 14 and 18 on the Adriatic. The day's highs will range from 19 to 24, slightly cooler in the mountains. The 3-day outlook calls for cloudy skies in the interior on Thursday with a chance of scattered rain, especially in the morning. From Friday on, it will be sunnier and dry. The mornings will be brisk, but daytime temperatures will remain about the same. It will be mostly sunny on the coast in the latter part of the week. There is a slight chance of a few local showers on Thursday, mostly in Dalmatia. Expect light to moderate northeasterly and northwesterly winds and consistent temperatures. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.